Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you a PSQL database that I created and a website that I put on top of that database using Python and HTML. So first I'll walk you through the website and what it does, then I will show you the database that I created in PSQL, and finally I'll walk you through the Python code. So just to give you a background about the database, it is a database with some mock data that I put in. There are tons of records, about 50,000 in each of the tables, and it is for a parishioner search and church search. So parishioners are part of churches, they can sign up for events and that kind of thing. So when I go into this website, this is the first thing that you'll come to. And let's say I want to first find somebody who has PU in their name. I can search that and it shows no results found. Okay, but let's say I have somebody with Da in their name. There's going to be lots of people found, so that is exactly what we want. I built this website so that anytime there's an error, the website tries to catch it and will then display that to the user in a meaningful way. You can see there's lots of different people on here, and this is coming directly from the database. You can view and edit things and make changes. So let's say I want to change the birth date. That gets updated, so that's great. And you can see if I go back into this person, it is updated to what I want. I can show the events this person has signed up for. This is all coming from the database as well. And I can sign up for an event as well. These events are coming from the database, pulling all the top 20 events that are coming up. So you can select one of these events. In this case, they're all names of businesses, but let's just pretend they look like events. So I'm going to add this person to Jacob's group. Now it shows that the person is signed up for, so let's go back into that person. I believe it was Tiffany, and you can see that they're now signed up for the Jacob's group event. And so it gives a little bit more detail about each of those event signups as well. And then I can actually delete the person by clicking this button. When I click on this button, you can add information about a parishioner who will then show up in the search. So that's how that works, and it connects directly to the database. So you're probably wondering, what is the database like? So I'll pull that up. Here is a Linux machine connecting to the database itself, and I'll show you what is in here. You can see there's lots of different tables and information there. So there's an attends table that is showing the ID of each parishioner and the ID of the event they attend. There's a parishioner table, there's an event table. So let's go into the parishioner table. You can see information about that as well. So here you can see there's a parishioner ID, a name, date of birth, etc. And you can use the SQL commands to actually dive into these tables. So next thing I'm going to do is show you the SQL code that I used. Let's pull that up. And so what I did was I inserted all the SQL code into the Python using this scicopg, I think that's how you pronounce it. And then I used HTML using the bottle framework from Python. And so in this Python code, it's quite long, but essentially each of the pages is being routed to, and based on what you click, it will route you to a certain thing and either get or post. So you can see then within here, for example, after I do the search, it's going to, if something is blank, then it will only search on the other thing. If both of them are filled, the name and the ID, it'll search on both of those and perform some SQL. I've then inserted some variables into that based on what I have here in this %s, and that will get inserted into the SQL code. And once that happens, it will then return a template. So that's using the bottle piece. And once it does this template thing, let's say there's an error, it will return the error template. So this one's going to be returning an error template as well, and this one returns a parishioner's template. And we do similar things for all of the different websites. So here's one of the templates. It's in sort of semi-HTML. It's a template file. And so I have information in here about what needs to show up and what the method is, like this one is post. Here's another one about adding a new parishioner. You can see that I have all the form fields here, but they get inserted then into the Python code. And so instead of adding all of the HTML code in the Python itself, I am calling these templates to make my code a little bit cleaner. So that's how that works. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial and my description of my database, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.